So, this generation cycle has come upon the idea that the United Kingdom will wager a bet. This bet is an institution of profit seeking based on the ecological crises of industrial revolution. So if this wager is met, not only do the filaments of the computer industry require that a market is made for the naturalistic law as well as the artificial one. This is a breach of contract to a lot of people. This means that the power seeking has increased to a level that fallacies are being made on the behalf of students rather than seniors. So, if a government is told that a student is a prefect to this natural right, not only do natural rights reserve themselves forwardly, the backwards nature of artificial intelligence is required to mandate a suppository. And these suppositories are a mansion of the migration of Munichs that do not have censorship, but the causality of censorship, which means they proliferate and propagate. So if this commandeering of licenses occurs, not only does the itemization of a Unitarian Party merge with the military party, the funding for them are actually wrapped up in the credit card of the industry. And this is how wages get set for the payment processing. Because, first of all, the payment has to be made in the name of someone. Because this name is a latchkey rather than a wager, these wagers are met through the numbering of the correct order of people rather than the correction of officers. So officers cannot mandate payment, but they can mandate a breach of constitutionality. So they can party these items away, which means we give you enslavement for them. So trading money for slavery would be a bet, but you need high stakes salesmen to sell you back your migration unit, which is the suppository of nature. So if natural and artificial intelligence are the opposites of the commandeering of welfare and the itemization of utility of markets, do markets in fact represent the ideology of America? And the answer is only in the United States. America would not suppose that a federation has a building for these things. They would suppose it breaches the contract of the federation. Because these federations are demanded upon to have seized assets, These seizing of assets would be required for the supposing of a speech right that dilemmas these things as a missionary protocol. So not only do you need your first state to represent these people, the state needs to proclaim a parliament rather than a senate. And that is 2 stages above seniority. Because seniority is a first time service, services are sectors. So in seniority, there is parties and protectorates. And these protectorates of the party deny people the right to excuse themselves from the monopoly on Congress, Senate, and House dictatorship. So that if the ability to judiciary a parliament occurs, not only does the goal of a pennular caste system occur, but this pennular nature versus nurture argument gets shifted back into the motherhood of the species, which would be called a priority. So a priori arguments would be a demand that a first world has rather than a second world. So if payment is at all managed by these systems, managerial classes are the suspicion of autopsy, while the leverage of United Kingdom would actually be missionary.